my gosh, I am here with the fantastic Sophie from Vancouver Cosmetic Tattooing, and I was just dropping off an order of the Bi-Blade because she is a hardcore fan of them, and I knew she would be because she's very much a natural artist. She paints and sculpts, and her work is incredible, and so I knew she'd appreciate these needles. But she was just saying about how you like the 0.15, and can you just share a little bit, what is it about these needles that makes it so different?
So as an artist, I find it so much easier when my tool is actually attached to my hand, just like a paintbrush, as opposed to a vibrating machine and the needle that is so fine, it's difficult, to see. I love using these, absolutely love them. It took a while to get used to them because it's not a microblade, right? It can be used similar to a microblade, but it's more, I just changed the angle a little bit and now I'm shading. It's more of you push the pigment in and pull the tool out, and it's like poking. It's great. I don't know, it's called embroidery. I was never really taught that. I started with microblading and then I went to machine, now I do paramedical. But coming back to this after doing this for almost 9 years now and having a tool where I can actually do what I want to do, and I have enough experience that I can get the pigment in and I know what works best for me, has been like a game changer. If I have a client come in and first thing I look is, okay, I hope I can do this with the Bi-Blade because it's so much easier for me. It's an easy setup. It's everything sterile, disposable. I throw everything away. It's good on my wrist. It's so great on my neck. I'm not like this trying to, feeling the vibration. I can just see it. Is it in? No, it's not in. I'll just do a couple passes, on my more mature ladies. I always do, warm up the color. I'll use blonde or golden goddess or what have you, whatever, and I let them come back and I have a look, and then I can get in there and do a little more. So I can get shading in between. I can get my strokes. I really go soft the first session and just wait to see when they come back, and that's just more for my learning because the tool is new to me too. And I love it.
How long have you been working with it?
I don't know. When was
a year maybe?
A little less than a year. I'd say less than a year. Yeah. So enough time to see my work come back.
Oh, and what are you seeing when you're coming back?
I usually think it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
Like when they leave, I think, okay, maybe I went too light, or is it not going to, but when they come back and it's really, really nice. So my lines, the strokes stay nice and crisp, and the in between, the shading is nice and subtle. And then I just assess what needs where, and often I use it in combination. Like if I have to use the machine, I'm using a machine, or I could just use it just to dab in the outline. If I'm doing powder brow and I want to do a slight outline, I can do that with this, super lightly.
This meaning the 0.15?
Yeah.
So what are the different techniques that you use the 0.15 to? Or sorry, so the 0.15, like what do you use that specific? That's the smaller gauge of the two.
So the smaller gauge, because it's less needles and it's a little narrower, I can get nice into a tail nicely, I like the 0.25 because it's a wider blade and I use the long end of it for a stroke. So I would just like push the stroke in and just lightly pull out on my pressure. So that just creates really nice consistent strokes because it's the end of that tool that's making the stroke for me, because it's about as long as you need, right?
Yeah.
So, and then if I'm having smaller strokes in the end of the tail, I can swap it out and put the 0.15 in just to get the little tail. Also the 1.5, I like to sort of flip it over and use the tip of it just to dab in between strokes to give me some shading. Also, I've used it on lips, so not full lip, but just to help me get the outline in.
The vermilion border.
Yeah, the vermilion border, especially in the Cupid's bow, where that's sort of tough, right?
And that's great for women that just want a little bit more refinement on their lip line, but they don't really want, that intense look of a lip line.
Yeah, well, you never really see the lip line. I like to, blend it all in. So I'm really careful because it can go in dark if you push too hard, right? So I'm just very gently tapping that in.
Wow.
Especially like the top, with those curves, it's hard to get the machine in there. Right?
I know, isn't it?
But with that, it's just so much easier. And also the bottom.
Have you used it on anything like paramedical or areola yet?
On areolas, I'm finding recently that I'm able to use like the 0.15 and just to do the outline of the areola. So I'll tap it into my pigment and just like maybe a millimeter. Sorry,
that's okay.
Maybe 2 millimeters apart, just so I can get that outline in. Once I wipe, I can see where those little points are, and then I can get in there with and use my mag and do my.
So just to recap, you use it for strokes, use it for shading, you use it for density, for liner, and you use it forward and back. You push it, plus you pull it, and you use the tips when you need to go into specialized areas.
And I use it for eyeliner.
Wow.
Like for eyeliner, it's I love it.
So can you see now as an artist, because I'm an artist and I'm created this tool because I was frustrated about what was available in the industry. With your experience, which is almost a decade now of working manually, would you say that this needle is in a league of its own, in a sense of it's a totally different needle than what's out there?
Absolutely. It's so sharp, it's refined, the edges are where you put your stroke, that's where it is, and you pull out and it's there. And because the edges are so nice and they come to a nice point of each needle, it's a very nice soft edge at the tip of the stroke. It's not like a blunt line.
Yeah,
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I find it for eyeliner especially that it's a lot easier. The client's not distressed or stressing because of the vibrating machine between their eyelashes. Typically I do mostly lash enhancements, and most of my clients are mature clients. So I'd say 40 to 60. That's the age group that tends to come to me. So for those clients, it's great because they just want a subtle little line in their lash line. They don't want any big fancy tails.
Right.
I don't really do those anyways, but I think I probably could if I had to.
Oh, you sure can. That's what I love about them so much, is doing the tails. But do you notice the difference in the texture? Now, this is one of the things that I've added to them because I never found a microblade that had a texture to it, and I found that the pigment constantly was slipping off the needles all the time, and so I was dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping, and now with this textured needle,
it holds on to the pigment for sure. It keeps it doesn't just dribble. It's not all over your working area. It keeps your working area like clean. It stays on. I can get a couple strokes in without having to dip a few times, and then I just go into my previous one, just touch the whatever pigment there is there, and then just go into my next one.
Yeah. Have you used the 0.25? What's your favorite application with that? Have you used it for any body work?
No. The 0.25 I've used mostly for strokes, when I want nice strokes. Sometimes if in the vermilion and the top where the cupid's bow is, if I just pull across and I can get a nice faint, because it gives me more working room to join those together to create a line, a very faint line, so then I can just follow up with my nails.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like I'm telling you.
Remember when you sat in my office and I told you that I was making this new needle?
Yeah, I had no idea. I just thought, okay, it's going to be like a microblade, but it's not a microblade. I mean, I haven't used it like a microblade, so I don't do microblading anymore.
Yeah.
But the results when the client comes back, the results like I never see strokes, or I don't see any scar tissue. I don't see any beveling of the skin, nothing, because I'm not cutting into the client, right? I'm not using it. I'm not dragging it. I don't drag it. I don't pull it.
Yeah.
I haven't yet. I just have this aversion to microblading for me. Like I don't want to feel like I'm cutting anything. And again, because my clients are mature, it's just much gentler. I can just tap it in.
Oh.
Yeah. I know. I don't know if I could do paramedical work with this.
Yeah.
Yet.
Just in time, you'll get comfortable.
Yeah,
it's a paintbrush for the artist, and if you are a true artist, and and when I say true artist, I mean like you actually have that intuitive nature in you, and Sophie does. She has this incredible gift that she's been given, and she's so blessed and shares her gift with so many people, and I'm so honored to know her. I mean, we've known each other now for 10 years. And she's been one of the best people in this city that I have known, and I refer my clients to her. I trust my clientele with her, and you know, she's using this technique on my clients, and I'm just so thrilled and happy, and I thank you so much for your time and sharing this with me. So
this has helped me. You have no idea. I thank you.
Oh,
absolutely. So yeah,
well,
I'm going to continue using it and practicing and seeing what else it does, and the more clients I see come back, the more confident I become.
Yeah,
it's great.
it is. It's just it's the way of the future. When I said it was truly a manual revolution, it really is. If you're a tattoo artist or an SMP artist or a traditional cosmetic tattoo artist, if you work in soft tap or you've ever done any kind of embroidery work, stick poke, this tool is designed like I designed it for you. It's just the hand tool itself.
Another nice thing is that it's not very long. So, you know, some of us use the magnification, right? And so I can get it in underneath there and still see what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, it's so cool. And then the needles themselves, do we have one here that's open just so we can take a look? She may have it in her box still. Oh, we got to open the box. Oh. All right, so this is, which one is this? This
1.5.
1.5, and then you can flip that over. Oh.
Right, so
and all of these are safety checked. I mean, I have done my homework, and they are made from the best company in the world.
And they open nice and easy. There's no poking. I don't have to poke it through the back. I can just easily bend that, and then just open it up. So it's great.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, and now I can't wait to bring out my new box, my new packaging, and that's coming soon, so stay tuned. And you know, as soon as I get them, you'll get the first one off the hot list. So thank you, my love. It's always a pleasure, and I look forward to more in the future. Happy creating.